Could UVM dining services build a better burger? A healthier, better for the planet burger, still made with beef, that was so tasty and juicy, students wouldn't even know the difference? We find out today on Across the Fence. Hello, Vermont. Researchers have landed on one big food-based recommendation to help both people and the planet thrive. Eat less meat. Specifically, eat less beef. Better for your waistline and heart health, better for reducing carbon emissions. So, what do you do when your top menu item is a burger? That was the conundrum faced by my two guests. Nicole Reilly and Eric Caravan are both employees of Sodexo, the international food services company that manages all food and dining operations at UVM. Nicole is UVM's Sustainability and Strategic Initiatives Manager, and Eric is UVM's Executive Chef for Residential Dining. And I am pretty excited because Eric and Nicole have brought me a hot, juicy burger to taste test. Welcome.
Thank you.
So glad to have you guys here. Okay, so taste test looming, burger getting cold, but let's get right into it. Chef, what is in this burger that makes it a better burger?
Yeah, so we've taken Black River Produce local ground beef and blended 50 cuts mycelium mushroom blend to create a juicier, more umami flavored burger.
Why more umami? Like what happens? Like what's so different about that mycelium?
Sure, so the mycelium is fibrous and absorbs the flavor and the juices that normally would drip off into the grill, cause those flames. So that is now harnessed inside the burger so that when we serve a student a burger, it's going to be juicy and tasty. Okay,
and I also realize we need to define what is mycelium. Nicole, what's mycelium?
So mycelium is the root system of mushrooms. So that is how they grow. And it is fairly neutral in flavor, which unlike the button tops of mushrooms, that's kind of what we want in this kind of burger.
Okay, so we're getting umami. So umami is that savory aspect. So it's going to still have that meaty flavor. And it's still gonna be juicy, still gonna be tender. And I guess actually the ultimate test is for me to taste it. It's hot, it just came off the grill. I've been smelling it all morning. All right, I'm expecting drip, so let's take a bite. Oh my gosh, it looks fantastic. Smells amazing. It's really good. Oh, I'm hunched over my food. That is a very tasty burger. It's thick, it's meaty, it's hot. The texture is nice. Sorry, with my mouth full of food. It has that bouncy texture that I associate with a nice burger. It's got juiciness. There's like a lot of flavor coming out in the burger in my mouth. And also, it also just tastes like a burger. Yeah, I mean, it's not, there I get the aftertaste. You know how like you get the taste, first you get it in the mouth and now you're getting really the flavor. Yeah, the flavor is beefy.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there that is making me think that there are mushrooms or mycelium or anything else in this burger. Okay, so this is sort of a feat.
Yes, that was the goal.
That was the goal. Okay, so what is the blend of meat to mushroom mycelium in this burger?
Yeah, so we did a 70% beef and 30% mycelium blend.
Okay.
And that was really kind of the optimal choice recommended by 50 Cut. That it really would stand out, make a difference in the burger, but not overpower the burger.
So tell us who 50 Cut is, and how did you how were you exposed to this idea?
Sure, yeah, so we did a diverse ethnic food training down at the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park. And
so chefs still have to go back to culinary school?
Chefs, you never stop learning.
You never stop learning, okay.
And so I was introduced to 50 Gut at a seminar that we had. And they brought samples, and I was blown away. Sausage, burgers, chicken, and you just couldn't tell.
So 50 Cut doesn't sound like mushrooms, but that's what they were, like on the mushroom side of things, and they were working on a blend between the mushroom and the, all right. So good, and so you taste it, you're wowed, and you think to yourself, I think we should do this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and in terms of meat reduction, it seems like this is a real have your cake and eat it too kind of thing, because we're reducing the amount of beef, which means we're reducing that carbon emission, right?
Yeah.
And yet we're still getting all the flavor of a beef burger. Nothing is compromised. Was that the idea, Nicole?
Yeah, exactly. So like behavior change, especially shifting dietary patterns, is challenging. It's hard for people to kind of make decisions around food when often it's what's tasty and convenient, and sometimes from a cost perspective, but really we want people to start thinking about shifting dietary patterns for their health, their wellness, sustainability, but also be able to really just enjoy that meat and not have to, you know, eliminate meat from your diet, but rather just eat more plants and a little less meat. And that will still make a big impact if collectively we move towards that kind of dietary pattern.
Yeah, it seems like it's a more approachable way to work on the goal of reducing meat in the average American diet. It's just, we don't all have to become vegans. We don't all have to now, you know, every meal is legumes, although you should eat your legumes. But instead just having a little bit less meat, and here's a way to be able to do it. Risky, because how popular are burgers at UVM?
Yeah, I would say 1 in 5 students are eating burgers.
All right.
So, you know, we usually track
20% of the dining hall.
by a percentage. So it is tricky to take a classic item like a burger and make an adjustment to it. But so far, well received.
Yeah, and you working on the sustainability side, it was a goal that nonetheless was just felt important enough to take the swing.
Exactly, and I mean, when the culinary team came back and was so excited, it wasn't like I was trying to bring a sustainability initiative to them. It was actually the other way, which doesn't happen often, but they were super pumped. And I think, for us, local purchasing is really important for our program. Ground beef is our #1 local purchase product on campus, and so we knew that we had to balance that as part of our Vermont First commitment to reaching 25% local food by 2030, but also trying to offer more plant-based dining options and 70% low carbon meals. So this kind of helps us, rather than removing or reducing the amount of burgers or beef that's served on campus, just really balancing out with a little bit of that mycelium will help turn it into a lower carbon food.
Yeah, okay. So we wanted to be there when the Better Burger made its debut at the Central Campus Dining Hall. What would UVM students think? Take a quick look.
On the grill, it's just another burger, and hungry students are digging in. We awkwardly followed a few eaters around in search of the moment of truth.
They're like denser, which I'm enjoying.
It's more moisture than you'd expect.
Yeah,
I think
from
it's
30%
really nice.
mushroom, I agree. Yeah.
What do you think? It was my first burger here, so I don't have anything to compare it to. It's really good.
Just tastes like a burger?
Yeah.
It's a really good burger. I mean, it really tastes like char-broiled. It's actually really good. I like that a lot. It's a lot better than, you know, some of the other burgers that they've had here.
So what'd you think?
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Tastes the same? Tastes different?
Same, I would say, yeah.
The verdict? The Better Burger is a real nothing burger in the very best possible way.
Okay, hardly a representative sample, but still good outcome. And Chef, that was a really, like I said, gutsy move. So what were you hearing that day? Because I know you were out in the dining hall as well. You were talking to kids. What were they saying? What were you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly important to connect with your customers when you're introducing a new item. And, you know, from baseline, it was either I didn't recognize that there was a change all the way up to it's juicier. I can taste the flavor difference, but I would never be able to tell that there were mushrooms.
Fantastic. It's like exactly the outcome you would hopefully be
Yeah,
hoping for.
absolutely.
Were you nervous about what their reaction would be? Because this is happening now, right? We're not going back.
Yeah, so I mean, this project took 6 months to kind of bring to fruition, and so we have already kind of flipped the switch, at least in the residential dining halls, but the goal is to increase beyond there, with the caveat of, yes, we're going to hear student feedback, we're going to measure the impact of, you know, of the decision, but yeah, we're all in.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about why change the burger. Like UVM has some pretty impressive sustainability goals.
Yeah, I think for us, a lot of it is just, trying to make sure that we have satisfied students, that they're finding what they need, but that we all are also, as a land grant institution, trying to make changes in the food system that are going to be good for not only Vermonters, but beyond, and for the planet. So we're always trying to kind of push the needle. We are recognized as a leader in this work for sustainable food procurement and our initiatives around
including local beef
and local beef.
Yeah.
So it's we're not taking away from the dairy and beef farmers that we're supporting. It's more about continuing our commitment to them, and also potentially growing that commitment. We do anticipate that these burgers will be popular, and that we'll be able to still, even though there's less ground beef in each patty, be able to maintain that commitment and possibly grow beyond what we were already purchasing from them.
This was even a little fascinating to me, is that by adding the mycelium into it, it changes a little bit about how the burgers cook, so that you actually think you're going to be able to move more burgers, which means you can actually do more local beef. So actually even support local farmers more by introducing the slightly cut product.
That's correct. Yeah, we were able to not have as much flare up on the grill because the mycelium's absorbing a lot of the grease and juices, and it's a faster, convenient product for us. So we're able to get more to the students' plates and have a tastier product that they're interested in, which will in turn grow the program.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. So you're getting flavor enhancement, you're getting nutritional goals met, sustainability, like everything about this seems like it's a great win. And what made you believe that UVM and maybe even Vermont was ready for this? Why is this a great location for a rollout?
I think we're environmentally kind of conscious, our students and the university and Vermonters in general. But it's also like a sense of comfort too, right? It's not that we're putting out some crazy lab-made product. This is simple ingredients that just really taste good. So even if people aren't making that decision for a sustainable reason, they're still, making a sustainable food choice without even really knowing it.
It's something that everyone can feel good about.
Exactly.
Love that. Okay. Well, Chef Eric and Nicole, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for the burger.
Thank you, Amy.
That was a good lunch. I'm going to go and devour the rest of it as soon as we finish. And as always, thank you, Vermont, for learning and exploring with me today. And thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.